Her name was Diana. She was 5'5", with light chocolate skin that only browned a little in the sun, dark Asian eyes, but otherwise had most of her geography scrubbed off her. She spoke, walked, and thought within the paradigms of global Americana pop, yet another child raised on American satellite TV. Of course, I found her incredibly attractive. I was also another child nourished by the same teeth. Her language was my language. Her thoughts were my thoughts. She wasn't blonde and blue-eyed, but she was to me a possible copy of the all-American girl. How could I have ever resisted? She could. I was great, she'd tell me, often. But we both knew I wasn't good enough. She never said that out loud, but it was obvious our familiarity bred no attraction for her. I was the understanding confidant. I knew where she came from. I knew what she wanted. I was fine with a cheap copy, but she wanted something more. Diana, Diana in its original Latin, but pronounced like the princess in cities, found her grade A copy in the form of a coupe driving shade. A natural heir to the glossy pages of Tatler, he was clearly a much better deal than I could have ever been. She had faith he could afford a good time, when I would have to think of starting a line of credit to pursue the same purpose. He would eventually leave her for an international school though he grew up in the UK. So that was how I found myself, again, here in this smoky food garden. It's too our market to be called a food court. Although the only sign of any real garden here are the concrete tree stumps that serves as stools for the shisha connoisseurs convening next to their colorful stalks of tobacco. I am here again with the same basket cases with whom I share a similar demographic profile. Young, male professionals with enough disposable income for occasional nights like this. After last week's wedding, we're now down to 4. Hafiz, cobbled together like a scarecrow with a shirt to pay. Sean, still hungrily eyeing the leftovers of a chicken chop even after he's gobbled up his meal and 2 drinks. Farid, puffing silently on a cigarette while tending to a phone call so important he had to stop eating. And me. There's nothing we found particularly enjoyable in the food here or the venue. The air sticks with humidity from the mist sprinklers above us. The food is overcooked with too much sauce on top. There's not enough lighting, the TV's too loud, there's no parking. It's a pale contender to what we collectively held as a good time. But it's something we could afford with a few notes in our wallets. The accumulated discomfort and inferiority of everything around us is still preferable to spending another night stalking pictures alone on Facebook. We are today's sad young men, unwaveringly single and still living at home. We are the highly educated eunuchs of society, smart and talented enough to be prized and entrusted with duties. We aren't bold enough to be of any real consequence to our paymasters. We are castrated by a lifetime of entitlement and silenced by the need to be respectable. I've got to go. My idiot of a boss wants his report by 10 a.m. Farid tells us as soon as his boss ends the call. It's 11:30. He's not going to get much sleep tonight, so we let him leave without paying. He only had a chicken chop anyway. The rest of us could afford the 15 ringgit that it cost. Sean's already smiling. It's almost the end of another year, but it's as if we hadn't left this table since we met here this time last year. You could see that time had marched on. Our stomachs are flabbier, and our hairlines have crawled a little backwards. Besides these unwanted souvenirs, we didn't have much else to show for ourselves. We could say that we filed twice the number of paperwork this year than we did last year, but that's nowhere near as impressive as flashing the keys to your new BMW. Next to us is a rounding table of big, lardy men. Their wrists gleam with the shine of their expensive, chunky watches, and there's 3 times as much food on their table as there is on ours. And only half of it was eaten. The rest is for the bin. We don't like these guys. They're noisy, uncouth, rough, stupid, and coarse, but they've got every bling in the world on them. They are barbarians that rob and pillage with no sense of investing money away for future generations. They're bad financial planners. Most of all, we hate them because they're having a good time, although it isn't our version of it. While we rationalize and commiserate, they celebrate their victories and show off their spoils. They are no lords, we know they're just underlings, but they're dangerous enough for their sponsors to not unnecessarily rub them the wrong way. Only women rank their foes at this hour, not bosses. We hate them because they make us hate ourselves. We are so much better than them, these barbarians. We work classy jobs, but we live like cub servants. We hate them because we hate the fact that one of them will shove aside our master and take over the reins, and we, the ever-loyal functional eunuchs, will end up kissing their hands and feet. It might sound strange, but the sight of these fat barbarians rolling around on their bellies only made them miss more. Diana, she who is my close enough ideal of sophistication, will be happy to settle for one of these vulgar examples of manhood. Oh yes, she would. I've seen it happen too many times. Smart, capable, independent girl hooks up with a boy who has an outgrown box shorts. He's the anti-ideal, the presumed disappointment, the kind of person your parents warn you about, the wrong guy. How could she ever resist? I crush the ice cubes on my drink in my hand. There's something oddly satisfying about the crackle of it breaking into small pieces of cool melting debris. Yes, that's why I deleted her off Facebook. I didn't want to see that inevitable coupling happen, followed by wedding invite, followed by pictures of a cute child. One of the barbarians notices my glaring and glares back. I hold his stare. Look at that hideous organism. Cheeks bloated, skin sallow from cigarettes, the vulgar rings on his fat fingers, that pitiful excuse of a goatee. I'm not afraid of you. You've stolen Diana from me. I don't care. He barks at me, and the horde takes notice. I don't let off. I'm not going to let them win this one. The horde gets up from their table and challenges me to a fight. My friends notices my staring. Sean tells me to stop. Bro, what are you doing? Are you trying to get us murdered? Ha. Just like as eunuchs, to be scared of a fight. We're only supposed to serve, never to challenge. While the horde strikes ever closer, swinging their big dicks under the huge guts, let them come over. Now, none of us have been in a fight for years, and it shows. We are as untorn as they come, and with the exception of Sean, who took kickboxing at the gym with his sister, through pitiful excuses for a punch. The only thing we know how to properly throw is a fight, but I wasn't going to let that happen. Something about tonight just makes me feel different. It's almost 3 months since she and I parted, and though I think about her every day, it's never made me want to do anything about it. Tonight, it's different. I'm here putting my friends in harm's way because I realized earlier that nothing ever happens in our lives. I was at the office at 3 p.m. and it was a quiet day. One of those days where you sat around in the office and sat and breathed for money. I got a text from Farid, who was also bored because his boss went out for a long lunch and didn't leave him instructions. We weren't supposed to spend time outside when nothing happens in the office, so we just sat and texted each other. The clinic came barging in an hour earlier and announced that she's sorry, but she's got to clean this office now because she needs to take her son to the clinic later. He's been coughing and feeling feverish for the past 2 days. I knocked to her and let her start work. I thought, how nice it must be to have something real to worry about, like a sick child. I don't really worry about anything, to be honest. Maybe lunch. Sure. I worried a little bit on the day I told Diana I liked her, but only because I wasn't sure if a positive response was something I really wanted to hear. I like you, I had told her. That line alone was a long time spent deliberating. Love was too strong, want too misogynistic, need too needy. Fancy made it sound like furniture. To be honest, like to be sounded adolescent, but that was what finally came out, so I waited. She smiled. So do I. Whoa. I think you're the best movie buddy I'll ever meet. Something not quite right about that line there. I clear my throat and look into her eyes. I don't think you understand. I had a slight stutter now. I like you. I say the word again with an emphasis on the first syllable to make it really clear to her what I meant, with my hand wringing and damn forehead not loose enough. Her lips burst a little, before she put on again a tight smile. That's sweet. But you know I don't feel the same way. I was aware of that. And you know I'm seeing someone. So I'm sorry, dear, but what do you hope to achieve from telling me this? I knew this was a bad idea from the start. She looked really irritated that I raised the subject, and now I felt like a certified idiot. But she was right. Just what exactly was on my mind that made me ask her this? To this day, I can't think of a strong answer. Yes, we were close. We enjoyed each other's company, and we had excellent chemistry. We would have made an entertaining comedy troupe, but there was nothing in our long friendship that suggested we would have been as great as partners. Yet something drove me to do what I did. Maybe it was just a feeling. I want to change this undefined ease we had with each other into something more meaningful. Maybe it was a way for me to upgrade myself from an optional accessory into something that she needed. Maybe it was because she was really pretty, and I wanted a pretty girlfriend. The cleaner had a difficult life, I realized, but her life was real. Her life had real relationships and real experiences: marriage, childbirth, motherhood. She may spend 3/4 of a day on her feet working for a fraction of the sum as eunuchs earn, but she was still the richer person. So here I am, being pushed against the floor, enjoying every minute of pain the barbarian inflicts on my body. I see Sean curling up in the fetal position, and Hafiz trying to push away a man twice his size from his back. How it hurts. How long has it been since something other than the sides of my head felt pain? Each blow feels like an explosion that runs up the sides of my limbs. I can feel the blunt surfaces of his rings digging into my chest. I can hear my heart pounding wildly and taste the blood in my mouth. What a sensation. Thank you.